Good morning and happy Saturday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Jump Change. This is live and recorded. For anybody that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news in the space, update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here in the chat, and then we'll get into this. Mr. Matt K, all set. My man Zarkov, good to see you, buddy. Solar Miner, good to see you, man. We have Game with Smokey Dan in the house. Let's see. Steven Cicero, what's up, man? Good to see you. Trade Win Bees, what's up, man? Backwards Miner, everybody else I may have missed, I apologize. Let's get into this. All right, looks like we are having a day. Bitcoin 60,805 bucks. It's crazy when you see everything in red and it makes you all depressed, but at the same time we're still over 60k. We're doing good, floating sideways. It's May. Listen, sell in May and go away, typical saying, right? Ethereum 2,900 bucks, almost, just about. We have Solana $144. Let's see, Caspa, a little bit of a pullback at 12 cents, just almost 12 and a half. Crazy. I thought it was going to continue up. Actually, I didn't pull up my trading view today, but I'll check it out in a bit. Excuse me. ETC $26.50. Let's see, we have AVAX at 33.43, XRPs at 50 cents. Let's see what else. Nothing really jumping out at me. Meme coins are a little bit down on the day, kind of floating sideways from yesterday though. Toncoin $6.73, down 5.67% on the day. Let's see what we're looking like on Crypto Bubbles. Gonna try to keep this show short today. That was weird. Just had like a glitch out. That was strange. Anyways, all right, let's see. Biggest loser. It's the biggest loser on the day. Let's see, looks to be Theta, maybe 11.3%. The Theta network down to $2.02. Interesting, man. Everything's like all down the same amount. That's crazy. Let's see what is in the green. Tron is in the green. TRX 1.8% up today to 12 cents. Crazy. That's about it. All right, Injective is down 9.5%. We have Rune down 8.9%. DYDX is down 6.9%. Bonks down 5.8%. Solana is down 5.8%. Gala token is down 4.4%. We have Toncoin down 6.1%. WorldCoin's down 3.5%. Arbitrum's down 4.5%. Oh, look at this. This Chili token is up a bit on the day to $18.16. I have no idea what that coin is, but it is up 2.3% on the day. And Render again down 6.5% to $10.77. It's actually pretty good, actually. Man, that must have pumped pretty good yesterday. Didn't even notice it. Damn it, missed an opportunity to sell it. ADA Cardano over here at 44 cents. I think this is a fantastic buy, man. This is like fire sale for everything. Flashbang, here we go. Fear and Greed Index looking like a 53 in the neutral. This is perfect. Exactly what we needed. It is exactly what we needed. Things need to reset. Let's see. I need to eat chili. You need to eat chili for lunch now, dude. You know what? My sister makes the best chili. It's so good. Love chili. All right, let's move on. Trending coins. This Maneki one still on top of the charts. Is it? Let me refresh it. It is. It's down 13.8% now. Whatever 3 is down 6%, and Octaspace down 8.6%. Damn it, I need to get, you know what, I wish Tangent had a swapping feature for this one, because I made a decent amount on Octaspace, but I was gonna take profits yesterday. I just had no easy way to sell it. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lido Staked Ether, Toncoin, and Dogecoin in 10th place at a $20 billion market cap. We have ADA. Wow, Ton jumped to 9th. Actually, was that there yesterday? I think Ton went to 9th yesterday. ADA is in 11th at a $15.6 billion market cap. Shiba still holding in 12th, which is crazy surprising, to be honest. Let's scroll down a little bit. We have LTC over here in 21st place at a $6 billion market cap. I think this is a steal also. 81 bucks, 82 bucks is still a decent price to get in on Litecoin, to be honest. Fetch AI, just my opinion, is up to $2.21, or down to rather. And yeah, it's at a $5.5 billion market cap. Let's see, ETC I think is going to do very well. Oh, Render. Was Render above ETC yesterday? I don't remember. Render's got a 4.1, almost $4.2 billion market cap, and Ethereum Classic's got a 3.8, almost $3.9 billion market cap. Crazy. Hedera's been doing pretty good, almost 11 cents. It's been holding up. $3.8 billion market cap. Let's see what Caspa is at. A 2.9 billion. Had a bit of a rise yesterday, so hopefully we'll see a giant breakout. KRC20 tokens are coming. I think we're retesting support right now, and maybe we'll get a boner candle shortly after. Let's see. If you guys have any questions in the chat, please feel free to ask. All right, let's move on to the mining segment of things, and we're going to get into the videos of the day. We have over here on Mine the ASIC, you guys know I like to timestamp this. We have Bitmain Antminer KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making $93 a day. We have the Antminer KS5 20 terahash unit making $88.63. The KS5L 12 terahash unit making $49.34. We got the Ivy Link BMKS Max 11 terahash unit to $42.15 a day. Again, this is all after 10 cents kilowatt hour. We got the Windminer K9 10.3 terahash at $41.43. Again, these are all Caspa miners. We have the Gold Shell Lithium box miner, 360 gigahashes at 180 watts, $40 a day. But at the same time, it's dropping. It's dropping. What's the lithium looking like, actually? I'm gonna go check now. Oh god, why did it go to 3? Every time you type it in and hit it too fast. Oh man, the lithium's down to $2 even. And you guys were giving me shit. Hold on one second, let me read this. I love when people come in and try to like shill shit coins that are never gonna pump. Don't buy Kendu, it's a shit coin. Don't even look into it. Thank you, Crypto KJ, for blocking the trolls. I appreciate it. All right, let's move on. We got the Ice River KS3 8 terahash unit making $30.65. Let's see, we got the KS3 the KS3M rather 6 terahash unit making $20.59 a day. We get the Alpha Pax DG1. This is the Litecoin and Doge miner making 14 bucks a day, 14.50. That's pretty good. 34.20 for wattage. Interesting. Just under or behind that is the L7 different versions, right? I got the 9050. Shout out to Terra Hosting. Mine is down there. I think I pay like 9.5 cents, maybe 10 cents kilowatt hour. Not sure exactly, but either way, I believe it's around 10 cents if you have one unit. $10.86 a day after 10 cents per kilowatt hours profits on Dogecoin and Litecoin, which is obviously amazing for a 3-year-old machine. It's just crazy. Let's scroll down a bit and see Ice River KS2. These ones have taken a real hit. The 2 terahash unit making $6.70 a day, and then the KS1 1 terahash unit is only making $3.35 a day. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Good morning, Mike the Miner, and I feel like I'm gonna butcher that name. I'm just gonna call you Athena. All right, let's move on real quick. Move on to, you know what, KS0 Pro. We'll look at this quick, and then the S19K I want to check. 72 cents a day. This is after 10 cents kilowatt hour, so I'm paying 30 cents. I'm still actually profitable on this unit. Let's see, what am I making on this unit at 30 cents? It's so gross, my electric rate. So I'm still making a quarter a day, just about. Probably find that on the street though if I walked around long enough. So is it worth it? Probably not, but hey, listen, I got these units, I'm mining with them, and I got them in the solar trailer for free once in a while. It depends. It's like I got to go between grid power and solar. Let's see, the S19K, where are we at? Still losing money. Oh my god, even at 10 cents kilowatt hour, we're losing 65 cents per day. Bruh. When is this gonna come back? Please, when is this gonna come back? Yeah, you can buy a pack of gum a day. Yeah, pretty much. Well, at least I got 10 of them, so it's like $2.50 a day, right? Get me an Arizona iced tea and a couple packs of gum. That's about it. Nothing really to be super excited over. But anyways, move on to GPUs. See what the most profitable coin is over here, and then we're gonna move on to videos. We got the Ironfish and Husat looks like to be top of the charts, the 4090 and Nexa as well. Ironfish across the charts, the 170HX. We got the Cortex, is that what this is? I believe. And Ironfish and Hooten, or Husat, why did I say Hooten? HTN. I don't know. I hate their ticker. I don't know why it's HTN. Makes no sense to me. But anyways, let's continue down. Ironfish and Grams, more or less just Ironfish and some sort of dual mining, right? Xano is on 7900 XT. We got Nexa and Chlor for the 39 sorry, 3090 Ti rather. The A4000 Cortex. We got Chlor for the Radeon 7. Let's see. Eternity on the 3080 and the A5000 with Conflux. Nice. Let's see. It will only come back when developed. What are you saying? Oh, Danar. What are you saying in the chat? Appreciate you, buddy. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Some sort of fork of Ironfish. I'm exhausted today, by the way. I apologize. A little off. All right. Events calendar. Let's see what we got. We have Kevacoin in 36. Oh, wait, no, it already happened. Didn't this already happen? Or is it happening in 36 hours? I think the red means it already happened. Am I wrong? No. No. All right, I lied. No, the date's right here. Sorry. Today's the 11th. I swear I thought this already happened. All right, anyways, Kevacoin 36 hours from now. 500 to 250 block reward. We got Pyron 10 days from now. We're going through a 5th inning, 17 to 14, and then Ethereum Classic 2.56 to 2.048 in the block reward. So I want to see what happens with ETC. I wonder if we're going to get some massive price appreciation. Let's see if we have any new coins on the list. Nope, still seems to be the same from the last couple days. Quest Chain, I don't know what any of these coins are, to be honest. I haven't looked into any of them. This one's just living off hype of 2 buzzwords, and then who knows on the rest. This one, you guys, I don't know why you guys are into this, to be honest. Sex sells. That's pretty much it. There's a girl on the front of it. You go to the website, so maybe that's why. If you guys are interested in Tangem, CCXD for 10% off. Super cheap wallet. All right, moving on to news of the day. Let's see what they got to say about gold over here. If inflation picks up, so will the price of gold. And you guys know that the price of gold usually correlates with stocks and everything else. So let's see what they got to say over here on Yahoo Finance, guys. The like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Gold futures on track for its best week since early April as rate cut hopes are lifting metals across the board. For more, we want to bring in Bob Iacchino, of Path Trading Partners, co-founder and chief market strategist. Bob, it's great to see you. And so talk to me just about this rally, let's call it a rally, that we've seen in gold this week. We certainly have seen gains in terms of how much upside momentum is left, because you talk about the fact that clearly the Fed's path forward here is driving and influencing the price of gold, but you also have got the central banks around the world buying gold, and that being a real driver here. So then what does that upside look like, if there's any?
Well, to your point, according to the World Gold Council, largest purchases ever by central banks, largest purchases on record. I guess in 700 BC, maybe a central bank then could have bought more, but for the record that we have, first quarter, largest central bank purchases. So we have that. The second thing we have is what I believe to be a reflation narrative just generally across the economy. And people think gold's an inflation hedge. It is not. What gold is a store of value or an asset. Anywhere you store money is an asset. Your home, land,
say Bitcoin.
The stock market.
Say Bitcoin.
Now that doesn't mean
damn it, he didn't say Bitcoin. Shit.
They come without risk. Downside risk. All of those I just mentioned do, and gold does as well. To a certain degree, Bitcoin is a high beta store of value. Gold is the same. And if inflation is picking up again, which I believe it is, gold will rally as a function of asset inflation. We all complain about inflation. I do as well. I bought a bunch of steaks yesterday. Really pissed me off. But when you look at asset inflation that comes with it, those of us that own assets like gold, we benefit from that. So my target for gold is about 4.8% higher from here, very specific, 2491. And if you get to 2491, the speculator will probably push it to 2,500 just because they like those numbers.
So sticking with gold there, I'm curious, the Chinese central bank is slowing its purchases of gold. I wonder to what extent stateside buyers of gold, the people Brian Sozzi loves to talk about going to Costco, getting those gold bars, do they need to worry about that slowdown from foreign central banks?
That's funny. That's where I got my steaks. They don't need to do that as long as we're going to get this Fed rate cut. My job as a strategist is to figure out what's going to happen, not what the Fed should do or what markets should do, but what they're going to do. I think the Fed is going to cut rates. The probabilities are rising of that just based on market pricing. Cut rates. Did I say raise? Cut rates. And if they do, that will boost gold, because the only time that gold suffers in an inflationary environment, which I believe we're still in, and we're probably getting a little bit of an uptick on that, is if the Fed is fighting inflation. And right now, the rhetoric has pivoted to the opposite of that. So despite central banks slowing, China being the main one, as you mentioned, Madison, I don't think that's going to slow gold all that much. It's just going to slow the rise, but I think the rise will still be in place.
Bob, how are you looking at the pickup in buying that we've seen in silver and a lot of that on the back of this rally that we've seen in gold?
Yeah, that gold-silver ratio can really widen out, but it really is sort of a tug on the rope from gold. And it's sort of an elastic rope, right? Silver will snap back. Silver gets looked at by a lot of speculators and people who want to store in precious metals as the poor person's gold, for lack of a better phrase.
Any of you guys invest in precious metals like gold or silver or anything else? Let me know in the chat. I was into gold and silver before Bitcoin and crypto.
My biggest losing trades have been in silver. And it's simply because I don't understand the juxtaposition well enough between the industrial properties of silver and the precious properties of silver and which one dominates when. However, in a reflation narrative, when you're starting to see US PMIs, manufacturing PMIs specifically, go back into expansion territory, silver's now benefiting from both of them. Again, I'm not in it because if I get in silver, it'll be a losing trade. That's just the way it's been. But from that perspective, I think silver's playing catch up, but also benefiting from the environment that we're in because of that dual nature of it.
Right. Well, it's interesting because you are missing out on some of those big gains year to date, unfortunately for you, Bob. But
not the first time, Madison.
Not the first time for many of the investors who chat with us. But I'm curious, we're not seeing a lot of the traditional hedging activity that you think of when you think about investors who are concerned about the momentum of a market. We're not seeing people buying volatility, for example, with the VIX. Why is gold a better hedge?
Well, I don't know that it is a better hedge. Again, I think what it is a lower risk asset that could benefit from inflation and reflation. So really, I don't know that it is a better hedge for equities falling. It may not be at this point, but if equities were to drop, then you're likely to see the Fed cut more aggressively, and that would benefit gold simply on dollar weakness. Gold has probably 4 factors that move it in the short to medium term. 3 of those, in my view, are pointing to gold being higher. Now, I own gold, full disclosure, I've owned it since November 2022, so I don't want anyone to take that and run with it so that my trade gets better. I just think when I analyze it, there's only one way that gold comes out in the negative, and that's if inflation spikes and the Fed decides to tighten and fight it. Gold will suffer then, and I don't really see that happening in the near future.
All right, Bob.
Well, moral of the story is just buy Bitcoin. All right, moving on. CNBC Crypto World. Let's see what they got to say over here. Let's see. Crypto miner CleanSpark expands with acquisition of 2 Wyoming locations. Let's see what they got to say. Hit that like button, guys. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin and Ether head for another week of declines. Shares of Marathon Digital fall even after the company reports record earnings. And CleanSpark CEO Zachary Bradford breaks down that crypto miner's acquisition of 2 mining facilities in Wyoming. Bruh. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Brandon Gomez. Major cryptocurrencies moving lower this morning. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin fell a little less than 2%, back under $61,000. Ether dropped 2.8% and is back below $3,000, while Polygon's Matic token fell 2.9% to 67 cents. Now we are looking at another week of losses for some of the biggest cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin and Ether down 1.5% and 5% respectively.
I love how they think that's like a big pullback, like 1.5%, 5%. It's like, wait till you see the 60.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Kraken has asked a federal judge to dismiss the SEC's lawsuit against it. Back in November, the regulator alleged that Kraken operated as an unregistered broker-dealer and exchange, along with inadequate record-keeping that would be prohibited by a registered securities intermediary. Well, in a filing yesterday, Kraken argued that the SEC failed to prove that the transactions on Kraken's platform were investment contracts, and the agency's argument would transform the sale of any digital asset or commodity into an investment contract. Kraken said it thinks Congress should be the one to decide such a significant reordering of U.S. financial rules. Next, shares of Marathon Digital are falling this morning despite the crypto miner reporting record revenue. The company reported $165.2 million in revenue in the first quarter, up 223% from a year ago. But that's still less than Wall Street estimates of $182 million for the quarter. The miner also reported a 184% year-over-year jump in net income to $337 million. Now, that spike is mostly due to a change in accounting standards for the Bitcoin miner, which raised the value of the digital asset it's holding. That coincides with a huge rise in Bitcoin's price in the first quarter of the year. By midday, shares of Marathon Digital were down nearly 10% in reaction to yesterday's earnings release. Finally, another publicly traded mining company, CleanSpark, is expanding its operations. The company announced yesterday that it's acquiring 2 mining sites in Wyoming for just under $19 million. Those facilities will add 75 megawatts in available power to CleanSpark's 400 megawatts currently under management.
If you guys don't know, a megawatt is 1,000,000 watts.
Across 8 sites in the southern United States.
That's crazy.
The expansion announcement comes after CleanSpark also reported earnings yesterday. The company brought in $111.8 million in revenue for its second fiscal quarter, beating Wall Street estimates of $106 million. All right, sticking with CleanSpark for our main story, Crypto World's Tanea McKeel spoke with Zach Bradford, the CEO of CleanSpark, about this latest acquisition and how the company is faring after the Bitcoin halving.
You announced earnings yesterday. You announced a new expansion in Wyoming. Tell me more about this latest acquisition.
Yeah, we're really excited about Wyoming. We're moving to another state. This will be our 3rd state. We are going to have 2 sites in which we will be building Bitcoin mining data centers. We expect it to be about 75 megawatts of total power between the 2 sites, and we have the ability to expand beyond that.
Isn't it funny how every like hosting facility is going towards the data center thing now? I think there's like rules and regulations as to why. It's just interesting that every single mining facility is calling themselves a data center now.
Those in the audience who don't cover the mining sector so closely, can you put the 75 megawatts into some context for us?
Yeah, so all in all, we think about everything in processing power. So to put that in perspective, right now as a company, we have 17 exahash. That's how we measure processing power. This new facility is going to allow us to add about 4.2 more. And so, as a company on a post-halving environment, and we could obviously talk a lot about halving, but that really means that we're going to be producing between 400 and 500 Bitcoin every month as we are now. So this is going to be, roughly call it a 20% increase in that, depending on how things land and what the network's doing in a few months when we're finished with this.
These 2 mining sites in Wyoming, are these sites that you've had your sights on for a while, or is this something that you're scooping up post-halving?
We've kept an eye on Wyoming for a little while. We've had our earliest conversation with the utility actually going back a few years when our former CFO had some family connections in Wyoming in the same area. But we put it down and walked away from Wyoming for a while. And this was actually a new opportunity, something we became aware of, only about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And it was just a great opportunity, right time, right place for us to come in and scoop it up. We've been preparing for these opportunities for quite some time. And now we thought was the good time.
What is it that brought your attention to Wyoming? Why is that a good market for?
It's like a low power rates, obviously, lady.
The kind of operations you guys are running.
There's probably nothing out there, right? They just got fields of whatever.
We were really attracted by the
I'm
political
kidding. I'm totally ignorant to what's in Wyoming. I have no idea. Never been there.
Of the state. Senator Loomis has been a long time big proponent of, blockchains and Bitcoin in general for a long time. And so we saw it as a place, just like the places we already operate in, Mississippi and Georgia, that it's a place that's welcoming of, blockchain technology in general. And so we thought it would be a great home. In addition to that, Bitcoin mining, we are operating data centers, and heat is always the, opposite of what you want in a data center space, all about the cooling. And Wyoming is just cooler year round than some of the other places that exist in the US. So it's a great environment in the literal sense, and also a great political environment also.
How are you feeling about everything post-halving? You guys reported your financial results for your latest quarter yesterday. Earnings per share 58 cents. versus a loss a year ago of 23 cents per share. Of course, Bitcoin up 120% over the last year. So how are you approaching growth now, given the lull that we're experiencing in the Bitcoin price? We have these two big key catalysts behind us: high inflation, slowing economic growth, geopolitical issues, what have you. I know, you and a bunch of your peers in the industry were well prepared months in advance for the halving, which of course reduced the Bitcoin block reward for miners. So now we're just a couple weeks out from that big event that was so widely watched this year. How are you feeling about it?
We're feeling great. We as a company, we've been lucky enough that we did prepare ourselves. Luck's really the wrong word, but we made sure we were ready to go. We've been the only public company that has outperformed Bitcoin. And I think year to date, we're the only public company that our stock is actually up for our shareholders. So we're really happy about that. That helped us prepare for where we are today. And, we are running strong. So the block reward, or the number of Bitcoin we get on the baseline, was cut in half. But we were set up so that it was really just a compression of margins and didn't affect anything really on a long-term basis. We're seeing now that the global hash rate's decreasing a little bit, 15 to 20%, which signals that the miners that were less efficient or less prepared have actually had to unplug. And that creates opportunities for us, for companies like us, where we're in a really strong position, that we can capitalize on that, either through buying the data centers or the fact that the piece of the pie, which is global hash rate, ours got bigger.
Right.
We're currently about 3% of global hash rate, and things are looking good for us to continue to increase that to a much higher percentage over the months and years to come.
Yeah, people shutting off, makes the difficulty come down, which means rewards get greater for companies like his. That's kind of what he's getting at.
What, if any, challenges are you looking forward to over the next few weeks?
I can tell you what he's not looking forward to is all the sand and bullshit that he's going to have to make sure them filters are clean up in Wyoming, or over in Wyoming. Any of those the dry areas that are kind of like Kansas and stuff. Like, man, the wind comes across the ground so different because everything's flat, and it's it just literally, you'll just see piles of dirt and sand up to these filters. It's crazy.
I mentioned the lull. It's only been a few weeks, but some analysts warning about a pullback to 50K in Bitcoin. One analyst even said 49K, so below that $50,000 level. Is there we've talked about this a little bit before, but is there a certain number in the Bitcoin price that you are most comfortable or uncomfortable at? And, I know we're talking short term here, and you seem very set up. You've just said for the long term. Anything you're worried about in the next few months?
Obviously, there's things we can and can't control, and we've focused on what we can control. But what that means, being prepared, means to be prepared for Bitcoin price to drop, right? We're all doing great as miners if the Bitcoin price always continued to go up. But it's what happens when you have to battle through the tough times. We're incredibly well prepared. I think something that would be, really important for any investor looking at the space to understand is really, hash price. That means really for every, hash or the, processing that we do, how much is that worth right now? And then how much does it cost us to do it? We right now are set up amongst the lowest of all the publicly traded companies that have reported on our hash cost, or the cost to ultimately mine a Bitcoin. And as long as we can stay on that bottom, we're really at the bottom, quarter. That means there's 75% of the miners that will be mining at a deficit or will have to turn off before we have to worry about turning off. And every time someone else turns off, it makes our piece of the pie bigger, and therefore further and further away from us needing to turn off any machines. So for us, that's how we think about positioning. So absolutely, there's always a concern. It's a volatile asset, but on a long-term basis, we're incredibly bullish on the direction of Bitcoin, on adoption. Today we're seeing a pullback, but we're really trading inside a band. We've been bouncing around for about 3 weeks in this like $59,000 to $65,000 band, and I think that this pullback is just pulling down to the bottom end of the band. And if it does slide further, we're well prepared for that to continue to remain profitable. And if it bounces back up in the other direction, then it'll be good for not only us, but also some of our less efficient peers.
Perfect.
All right, that's all.
Absolutely. All right, shout out to CNBC Crypto World for that. All right, videos I haven't watched. Let's get into them. Lark Davis, is the crypto summer canceled? Better not be. Damn it.
Renowned global macro traders, people like Raoul Pal, Mark
Links in the
Yusko, friends of the
links in the description for his channel if you guys are interested.
channel, use the framework of seasons when referring to the cryptocurrency market. And I want to investigate this theory because could crypto summer be canceled? And indeed, if we look at the charts, it is impossible not to spot a seasonality in price moves. The current year of 2024, of course, is a summer year. What does that historically mean for prices? And is there a possibility of a bearish summer? I mean, the actual northern hemisphere summer, coming into winter here for us down in the southern hemisphere. But that's a different story, right? June, July, August. What can we look at looking at historical data? Well, here's a multi-year chart from Raoul Pal. As you can see, each year and the crypto market represents a season. Obviously, winter is the bear market in which the price of Bitcoin and all other coins fall off a cliff. Spring is the year in which prices find their footing and thus resume their uptrend. That was 2023, and summer is the time when the uptrend continues. Fall is the parabolic phase, the blow off top, probably 2025. And if you look a bit more closely at the pattern, you will see that some seasons have been more consistent than others and how they actually behave. For example, the bear years in blue have been pretty gosh darn consistent in their bearishness. From 2014, we have minus 57%, 2018, minus 72, 2022, minus 65%. Oh, some good memories baked in those numbers, isn't there? For spring years in green, it's been up 38% in 2015, 90% in 2019, 156% in 2023. 2015, with its modest gains, is the outlier there. The summer years then, 190% in 2012, 123% in 2016. 2020 saw 300% up only consistently. And the current year of 2024, which is a summer year, was off to a hot start with a more than 50% price spike from January to March. Only when we look at the fall years, the image gets a bit more mixed. An insane pump of 5,400% in 2013, 1,300% in 2017, but only 63% in 2021. It's the fall year of 21 that saw
Kind of a neat chart, but man, his energy in this video is making me fall asleep.
a rather weak pump for us spoiled Bitcoin investors who are always expecting mega moon time. What about altcoins and altcoin seasons? How do they relate to the bigger cycles in the market? Well, let's look at the price of altcoins measured in Bitcoin throughout the seasons. We know altcoins get absolutely trashed in crypto winter, like beyond trash, thrown in the gutter and someone takes a crap on them and then lights it on fire. Bad stuff, right? But what about summer and fall?
That was aggressive.
Well, this is the chart of dominance of crypto coins outside the top 10. So everything excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the other top 10 altcoins like BNB, XRP, Solana, whatever. As you can see, crypto summer years kick off alt
Oh, that's kind of neat. Actually, look at the fall. That's funny.
season. But for altcoins, summer years can feel more like spring, meaning there are occasionally some very cold showers with sharp price drops. Again, relative to Bitcoin, especially. Just look at 2016, look at 2020. In both years, alts did not outperform Bitcoin that much, measured from January to January, even though there were quite large spikes. Only in fall years do we really see strong, consistent uptrends for altcoins. The fall years are the true alt years where things get insane for altcoins, even compared to Bitcoin. New coins pop up that do like 100x moves, Solana in 2021. Now, before we talk about the causes of the seasons, I just want to take a
No, don't take a quick second. Just keep going.
Thank you very much. So, what causes the seasons? So before we look at the current price action, try to forecast out a bit, let's turn to a broader question. Why why are crypto prices so damn cyclical in the first place? Compare crypto prices, of course, to other assets in a multi-year uptrend, namely technology stocks. The FANG stocks, FANG, have also moved in a super cycle type of pattern, meaning that they stay in their channel when plotted on a log chart, at least. Now, here's Amazon for an example for you. It's not cyclical. Bitcoin also is in such a channel, but the moves are more cyclical, as we saw. Well, why? Well, you probably know the answer, or at least you have one of the answers already probably floating around the back of your brain, which is, of course, the Bitcoin halving. This is the price chart of BTC all the way since 2010, also shown on a log scale. If we smooth out this chart a bit and plot the halvings, the dashed vertical lines, we see that the big run up and blow off top has always happened in the year post Bitcoin halving. Well, the halvings themselves have been in 2012, 2016, and 2020. The violent price action has been in 2013, 2017, and 20.
Real quick, looking at like the decline here on the increase, right? If you guys look at the curvature, right? This run, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, looking at it like, you know, in increments of how high it actually went up. What do you guys think? Probably 120K ish, maybe peak. That'd be my guess.
2021. Those are all fall years, by the way. While a statistician might scoff at a series of 3, it's not enough for real statistical significance yet. But with the Bitcoin halving in the back of our minds, remember, it did just happen this year, right? So it's interesting that we can see a pattern starting to emerge here, even if critics argue that the halving isn't as important anymore as it used to be, which there's some valid points to that with everything else going in the crypto space. And the first halving in 2012 meant a huge supply shock as the supply was cut from 50 BTC to 25 BTC per block. The most recent halving was from 6.25 down to 3.125, much smaller in absolute terms. Okay, only a little more than 3 BTC, but total dollar terms, pretty big. So why are we still in such a nice cyclical pattern? Well, you could argue that the first halving actually set in motion a pattern. It set in a pendulum, basically into motion, so to speak, anyway. And it could sustain this by giving smaller and smaller pushes. Compare it to setting your kid in motion on a swing. It doesn't require a lot of pushing to keep it going once you've set it into motion. But there's another explanation, and that is one that we will keep in mind for the coming months. More on that in a moment. But it's the relation between money and supply growth and asset prices. So you need to understand this first. Central banks, in response to stagnating growth and high debt levels, have resorted to quantitative easing, QE, which significantly impacted asset prices. This relationship became particularly evident during the 2008 financial crisis and the subsequent economic recovery periods. Now, I already mentioned Raoul Powell, who talks about the everything code. I love the everything code thesis, very interesting. This is his thesis that central bank policies have their own roughly 4-year cycles, with the money printer being switched on each cycle to pay for the interest on debts from a previous cycle. These liquidity injections, these liquidity cycles push up asset prices, and they work on approximate 4-year cycles, including even like the Chinese central bank. It's crazy. Indeed, looking at this graph from macro, micro, there seems to be a correlation between the periods of low or even negative M2, that is money supply growth, and bear markets. That was the case in spring 2015 when the M2 growth was negative, whereas the summer and fall years of 2016, 2017 coincided with M2 growth peaking, coinciding almost perfectly with the infamous 2017 blow off top for Bitcoin. Money goes out, prices go down. Money goes in, prices go up. Same with the post-COVID injection of liquidity. Appears that by coincidence, of course, the Bitcoin halving cycle has sort of aligned with the liquidity cycles. Makes you realize Satoshi is even more of a genius than we give him credit for. Now back to our question. will we get a bullish or a bearish phase of the market in the coming months? Because this is the big picture you need to try to understand, right, about the cycle. But what about the coming months? Based on the previous cycles, our base case has to be that we are in the middle part of a bull market, that we will see significantly higher prices over the next year, year and a half. But the road there will be bumpy, and you should anticipate that. Looking at the current M2 growth, we can see it's relatively flat. We are having printing from China and Japanese central banks, for example. Maybe that explains a bit of the weak price action of the Fed. The Federal Reserve in the USA hasn't really jumped on the party yet. Keeping an eye on money supply charts, of course, will give you a valuable anchor point. Remember, the Fed is going to start buying back bonds pretty soon, so things are happening. Now, two slightly bearish scenarios for the coming months. Scenario one is that we're just in a normal correction. And in the coming 2 weeks, we end up bottoming out in the low 50s or so, for example, just a theory, right? Scenario two is that just a longer period of weakness ahead of us, with price moving sideways for another 2 to 4 months. That's kind of what happened in 2020, by the way. That would bring the cycle back to the previous bull market, really, in terms of timing and how it works and total structure and all this kind of stuff, with the spectacular part of the bull market not starting until about 6 months after the halfway point, or 6 months post Bitcoin halving. Of course, there are more extreme scenarios on either side of this, both bullish and bearish. Still people saying we're going down to 12K, right? And people saying no, super cycles here, we're going up way faster than you think. Maybe resume the uptrend much sooner, right? Or the bears, the macroeconomic outlook's just so bad, it's going to deteriorate rapidly in the coming months. Global recession's coming, bond market crisis is coming. Look what's happening in Japan. Geopolitical escalation, World War III is coming. It's all over. Doom post now. Yikes. You can never know for certain what's going to happen. Okay, no one has a crystal ball. For Bitcoin, the biggest strength may still be that of global liquidity, which has been on the rise since basically the market bottom. That is the degree to which, of course, players in the financial markets have room to take risk. And it looks like that's going to continue going up for some time. And it's not easy to measure, which is why many analysts use a proxy, a relatively simple figure that gives a nice idea of the underlying complexity. For example, central bank balance sheets or the money supply. You see, we think there is a good chance that sometime in the next few months, Jerome Powell, Janet Yellen over the Treasury, that they're going to significantly increase liquidity in the markets. They've said as much again with the bond buyback program that's likely to happen soon. When, what way, with what arguments, they'll figure it out. But Bitcoin will be the first to catch on and to take off like a rocket in that scenario. And just remember that even in crypto summers, there can be nasty, stormy days in which you want to, stay inside during the heating on, relax a little bit, especially for your altcoins. Okay, be ready.
All right, well, thanks to Lark. Appreciate his little insight and putting us to sleep. I'm freaking that was rough. All right, breaking: Wells Fargo and JP Morgan disclosed they are buying more Bitcoin. This is actually the one I really wanted to watch, but I didn't expect Lark to be that unentertaining this morning. All right, let's do it.
Huge news today for crypto. Perfect. Wells Fargo, America's third largest bank, owns spot Bitcoin ETFs. This is per recent SEC filings. And according to the filings, Wells Fargo holds positions in Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF, ProShares Bitcoin Strategy Futures ETF, and shares in Bitcoin Depot Inc., making a notable entry into the Bitcoin market. And while all of them are nice, it's the Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF that affects price, as Grayscale has to buy the actual Bitcoin. Maybe Wells Fargo is the reason we've officially started to see some days of net inflows into GBTC. Probably. Of course, it's very possible that Wells Fargo was buying before this. They could have been buying into the selling, because the reason we're starting to see these disclosures is because May 15th is the deadline. May 15th is the date for 13F filings for Q1. They're required disclosures by institutions. This is the exact same reason that actually earlier this week, investment firm giant Susquehanna International Group revealed that
Susquehanna, it's such a weird name.
An SEC filing that it now holds $1.8 billion in spot Bitcoin and other Bitcoin ETFs. Institutional.
We'll just call it Sasquatch.
Investors are accumulating Bitcoin in bulk. And really the only thing bigger than having America's third largest bank now owning Bitcoin is that we now have number one. A few hours after Wells Fargo made the disclosures, America's largest bank, JP Morgan Chase, disclosed spot Bitcoin ETF holdings as well. This is breaking news. This is a huge change. And turns out JP Morgan, the largest US bank, has been buying these Bitcoin ETFs, even while the CEO, Jamie Dimon, has been publicly hating on it.
Do you guys like, did you not expect that Jamie Dimon was buying in the background? Newsflash. He is a piece of 1000%. He will just literally tell you not to buy it so he can buy it. He's an asshole.
I could care less what Bitcoin trades for, how it trades, why it trades, who trades it. If you're stupid enough to buy it, you'll pay the price for it one day. I've also told people that it can trade at $100,000 before it trades to zero.
You are a loser. You always lose.
Tulip bulbs traded for $75,000 once, something like that. The only value of a Bitcoin is what the other guy will pay for it.
Eat shit, Gary.
Let me ask you about Bitcoin, because that was another famous comment that you made, that it's a fraud. Now we see institutions.
Which I regret making. The blockchain is real.
Which I regret making, he says.
You are a loser. You always lose.
You can have crypto dollars and yen and stuff like that. ICOs, you gotta look at everyone individually.
Hear his voice? Who is he blowing?
The Bitcoin, it was always to me, was what the governments are going to feel about Bitcoin.
God,
It gets
I
really
hate
big.
these people.
And I just have a different opinion on the people. I'm not interested that much in the subject at all.
Rich scum.
I think that Bitcoin is worthless. But I don't want to be exposed to it. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. And I've made my views perfectly clear about crypto tokens are like pet rocks. And there's and people hyping this stuff up. That doesn't mean blockchain is not real. Right. That doesn't mean smart contracts won't be real or Web 3.0. Bitcoin itself is a hyped up fraud. It's a pet rock.
You are a loser. You always lose.
How do you know it's going to stop at 21 million?
Because
I've mentioned this to people too. Everyone says that. Well, maybe it's going to get to 21 million and Satoshi's picture is going to come up and laugh at you all.
Maybe. Who cares? We'll all be dead by then. Who gives a shit? That entire panel's going to be dead by then. So are we.
Even at the beginning of this year, a few weeks after the Bitcoin spot ETFs came into existence, Jamie Dimon said this.
Number one, I don't care. So just please stop talking about this shit. And I don't know what he would say about blockchain versus currencies that do something versus Bitcoin that does nothing. And maybe that's not different than me. But you know, this is what makes a market. People have opinions. This is the last time I'm ever going to state my opinion. I think there's a good chance that when we get to that 20 million Bitcoins,
they go to 42.
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
I doubt it.
And I don't know why a crypto dollar would ever be something that, you know, a store of value would be worse than a crypto Bitcoin. So, you know, that's my view, and I may be wrong, which I doubt.
But I predicted this. Subscribers of Altcoin Daily were ready for this, because what would Jamie Dimon do if he wanted to buy a lot of Bitcoin? Well, he would go on CNBC and trash it. He
100%.
would say it's going to zero. The price would dip, and he would buy. That's not illegal.
Just like the great crypto conspiracy, when he was sitting there saying it's a fraud, anybody caught in his company buying it will be fired, and then guess what? Like a month later, he was buying a shit ton of it. He was the biggest buyer of it.
FUD crypto in public and buy it in private.
He's a scumbag.
In fact, looking at the recent JP Morgan
see you in hell, buddy.
disclosures, we can see they own some of Fidelity's spot Bitcoin ETF, some of BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, also Bitwise's spot Bitcoin ETF. But this is the most important part of today's video. Most other crypto channels won't share this with you. I will. I'll keep it real with you. If we look at
Come on, Austin, cut that out.
How much Bitcoin JP Morgan Chase actually own through the ETFs, about $47,000 of Bitcoin Depot Inc., $25,000 of the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF, $2,000 of Bitwise, $1,000 of Fidelity, $2 of Grayscale, and then $445,000 plus $32,000 of iShares. That's BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. And although this amount, the amount of money allocated to each ETF seems a
Natoshi Sakamoto in the chat says, I hate pet rocks and has 60 of them.
bit underwhelming compared to what other institutions are choosing to allocate to purchase Bitcoin. Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seifert breaks down the truth. that JP Morgan and Susquehanna and others are just market makers and or APs. That stands for authorized participants for these ETF issuers. And JP Morgan's ownership isn't necessarily indicative of anything other than this is how many shares they had on the last day of March. Meaning they're just holding the Bitcoin. They're just redeeming the shares as authorized participants for BlackRock and others. And if you're making markets in these things, the number of shares held could swing heavily day to day. The 13F data is simply a snapshot of long positions held on the last day of March. 13Fs don't show shorts or derivatives, so we don't even have a full look at their true exposure on 3/31. So in all transparency, this does not make Jamie Dimon a hypocrite. Not this, not yet. As senior ETF analyst Eric Balchunas states, we'll probably see many of the big banks report some holdings in their role as market makers/APs. That is different from them buying for the exposure and thus less hypocritical in JPM's case. Again, other channels won't share this with you. I will. Click subscribe to join this revolution. But because of these disclosures that are due on May 15th, what is notable, in my opinion, is the sheer number of holders that each has so far. IBIT, that's BlackRock's, is up to 250. That's bonkers for the first quarter of the market. So looking at the data, BlackRock has 250 number of holders, Fidelity has 136, Bitwise has 60, ARK has 42, which doesn't seem that significant. But then here's the comparison of the other ETFs launched in the same weekish as the BTC ones. They have a lot of zeros and then a lot of ones and threes. And also, we still have like a week of 13Fs to roll in yet. And looking at altcoin news, Polkadot's dot price has fallen more than 20% in the last 30 days to $6.90 as of press time. But record-breaking user engagement on Polkadot. The network boasted around
all these altcoins are going to explode.
150,000 active addresses on chain at the end of April. DOT is undervalued now, according to analysts.
So many coins are undervalued.
Launching their first creator token on actual exchanges. This has launched. Fan token platform XCAD has released its creator token launch.
No, I'm not even gonna let him show that. All right, we're gonna move on. We are gonna move on because I don't want to listen to that. All right, recapping things, guys. We're gonna be ending this soon. I'm exhausted. I don't know what do you guys think about continuing the Saturday streams? Do you guys like it? Let me know in the comments. All right, again, recapping. Anybody just joining, Bitcoin is 60,939. Ethereum at 29.12. Look at that. Solana 144 bucks. We got, again, Matic is down to 68 cents. Nears to $7.07, down 5.8% on the day. XRP's at 50 cents. BNB's down to 591. BCH looking like a 430 bucks. Man, when it went through the tavening, it was at $700. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Don't expect all-time high levels, says JJ Doc. Interesting. What about Caspa? Caspa is 12.5 cents as of right now. I was just looking at the chart actually off to the side. So I think Casp is gonna be doing good things. This was, if I did this on the daily, those lines. Let me see. Oh God, I hate like having to do this with trading view. It's a pain in the ass. But it looks like we've touched, you know, there, and then now we're fighting on this line. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know, but the money flow is coming up. If you guys can see, this is market cipher. You see the momentum waves coming in. Money flow's coming up, the VWAP's coming down, and this hill's coming down. So we're probably going to see a turn, and then once we get down here in a little wave, we're going to get a pop. Hopefully that's the plan. But this is a daily chart, so it takes days to play out. Right, you look at the 2-hour chart, things are starting to come up. Money flow is going down here though, so who knows? You typically want everything to be underneath and then all to rise at the same time, and then you get a giant pump. But I'm not a trader. I just work here. All right, let's see. Crypto bubbles, nothing popping out at us. Look, XMR just popped up. 130 bucks. XMR is still 130 bucks. Damn. Man, a lot of these coins though, for real, are really down. Let's see. Polkadot $6.72. Let's see what the what's the all-time high here. This is 2021. All right, so it had a decent run up. 2021, 87%. Wow, this might be a good idea. This might be a decent one to get into, actually. Polkadot's actually working on stuff. It's not just like a shit coin, you know. And then we have let's see, Cardano. I mean, yeah, Cardano. Where is it? Chainlink, I think, is a good one too, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never been into it, but Cardano, man, it's been through 2 bull cycles and it's appreciated every time. 85% down. $3.09. I think it's an easy like 6x in the bull run. To be honest, I should probably DCA into more of this today. Actually, oh god, didn't mean to do that. Anyways, but yeah, you can see 2017 bull run, again the 2021 bull run, and then we're getting there, guys. We're getting there eventually. All right, so let's see. Show support and go like. Do appreciate it, Black Hat team. Yeah, please hit that like button, guys. I'm exhausted today. I apologize. I'm like so off my my kilter. It's not even funny. I think ETC is gonna do well again with the ETFs. You guys know that. 12.5 cents for Caspa. Again, this is the chart here. I think this is it's gonna build support and then hopefully take a pump, because what is it, the KRC20 tokens? What? This is on the homepage of Brave.
Bruh.
Wow, I was not expecting that. That's funny. I was just gonna go to Google and go to the KRC20 tokens. Where is it? What's the site actually? What the hell's the site? So KRC20 tokens are launching soon. No. What is it called? What's the site called? Why don't I know it? God damn it. What the hell? It's like Cast something. I have to look now. Hold on. Now I gotta look. Does anybody know? Let me see. Oh, Castplex. That's what it is. I knew it. I was like, damn, I couldn't remember what the hell it was called. Here we go. All right, let me see. So this is coming out, and this is why Casp is gonna probably get some sort of appreciation this coming month. June, this launches. Official release is open beta right now. And man, Casplex, this is KRC20 tokens. Basically, you're gonna be able to make meme coins and all that bullshit on Caspa. It's gonna be very, very interesting, to say the least. Right now, Caspa is gonna be having some sort of utility, and then hopefully we get the smart contracts and everything comes down the pipeline. Caspa is gonna be freaking exploding. That's just my opinion. So you guys do what you want, but I've been DCAing into it for months at this point. Absolutely months. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Ton, ADA, and Dot says fully electric. Did Tech Hustler fight? Says Chris Hanley. No, he didn't. No, I think it's coming up though. That was weird that it was on the page, right? How did that no, I don't want that. How did that even go? That's so weird. Oh, is it changed? It just keeps changing. There we go. Another fighter there. What's that one? Yeah, no, I think they're fighting. He's fighting like the technicals guy or something, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's his name. I could be wrong. Let me see. Or tactical investing, actually, I think it is. That's what I heard anyways. Yeah, I think he's supposed to be fighting this guy. I think. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm gonna be real. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. The whole YouTuber fighting thing is like so stupid. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it personally, but like, hey, listen, to each his own. But like, I got kids and shit. I'm not worried about, like, I don't want to be freaking swinging in a ring for views. Like, that's just, I don't know. That's not me. Anyways. All right, guys, listen, I'm gonna be getting out of here. Let me see if I don't think Crypto Mikkel's going live this morning. Actually, don't think he is. Just double check. No, he is not. And is going live. soon. No. What's today? The 11th? Yeah, Panda's going live at noon. So I'm just going to send you guys over there. Hit the like button for him. How about that? And then, yeah, that's it. You guys have a great, happy, and safe Saturday. I'll see you guys later on tonight anyways. I don't know. I might end up killing the Saturday stream so I can sleep a little bit because I'm friggin' exhausted. Every Saturday, I'm like always waking up like, man, why do I go live twice? But I don't know. We'll see. I might kill the Saturday streams and still do Monday through Friday and then just do Saturday night instead of 2 times on Saturday because it's freaking killing me. But we'll see. Either way, you guys have a great, happy, and safe Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully, I'll see you guys later on tonight. And if not, I'll see you on Monday. Peace, peace. Have a good day. Oh, Mikkel's live. Mikkel's live? What? I can't redirect to him. Hold on. All right, guys, stay put. Let me see. No, let me refresh this, and then I'll kick you guys out. We're back for a second. Let me refresh. Sorry. I didn't see his thing's not there. That's weird. Let me see. Oh, it's there now. What the hell? Damn YouTube playing games. All right, guys, go enjoy Crypto Mikkel. Peace, peace.